4 Walt Disney World attractions that never saw the light of day. We are going to take a look at 4 potential Walt Disney World attractions, one in each park, that were cancelled for various reasons before work on them even began. Number 1, Magic Kingdom's Fire Mountain. Mark Davis's fabled Western River expedition probably holds the distinction of being the most renowned Magic Kingdom attraction that was never built, but it's not the only mountain that had originally been envisioned as a part of the figurative range of the Vacation Kingdom. To improve the roster of Walt Disney World's first park, Walt Disney Imagineering was throwing about numerous concepts for new e-tickets in the late 1990s, one of which being Fire Mountain. The enormous attraction was intended for the Adventureland section of the park and was meant to be a tie-in to the impending movie Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Visitors would descend a new trail created between Pirates of the Caribbean and the recently rerouted Jungle Cruise to see a gigantic volcano with a base camp at its base that was modeled like the film's Volcano Locale. The theme park attraction was to be based on the movie and have a post-film setting. Its plot revolved around Preston Whitmore, who traveled to Atlantis via the volcano in the movie, giving visitors a tour of the city. The rides at Fire Mountain were designed to be a cross between a standard roller coaster and a hanging coaster, with the cars changing from one type of track to another in the middle of the ride. It wasn't meant to be, but this groundbreaking ride technology would have made Fire Mountain the Magic Kingdom's most exhilarating attraction right away. The attraction never materialized for 2 main reasons. The first is that various planned ventures connected to Atlantis, The Lost Empire, including Fire Mountain, were impeded by the film's box office failure when it was released in June 2001. The second was the abrupt decline in tourists that followed the terrorist events of September 11, which resulted in significant budget cuts and dashed any hopes that Fire Mountain may continue with a new plot or a fresh take on the Atlantis idea. Number 2, Epcot's Mount Fuji. From one Walt Disney World park's unbuilt mountain to another, let's focus on Epcot's mythical version of Mount Fuji. For many years, there have been rumors and supposedly intermittent plans to add a scale model of Mount Fuji to the Japan Pavilion in World Showcase. The vast mountain would dominate not only the pavilion's skyline but also that of the entire back area of the park, creating a dramatic contrast to Spaceship Earth, according to the majority of plans. Here are the 2 key sites that are purportedly located inside the prospective Mount Fuji. The first would be a tubular roller coaster with interactions with Japanese folklore characters that would weave in and out of the mountain in a manner akin to Disneyland's Matterhorn. Another planned attraction for the mountains was to be a simulator ride that would resemble a journey on a Japanese bullet train. The rumored encounter with the renowned king of the monsters Godzilla, whom Disney would have leased from the Toho Corporation, is arguably the most intriguing aspect of this attraction. While there isn't a clear-cut explanation for why World Showcase hasn't had a Mount Fuji, and no, there isn't any proof that Kodak intervened to prevent Disney from having a ride named after their rival Fujifilm, it would seem that a lack of funding has repeatedly doomed the thematically appropriate attraction. Surprisingly though, Imagineers considered putting Godzilla in a Disney park more often than only the prospective Mount Fuji bullet train. Number 3, Hollywood Studios Creatures' Choice Awards. Because of the park's early popularity and low number of attractions, several possible attractions for Disney's Hollywood Studios, then known as the Disney/MGM Studios, that were created never saw the light of day. These ranged from Roger Rabbit and Dick Tracy-inspired ones to one of the most bizarre ideas Imagineering has ever come up with, the Creatures' Choice Awards. The Creatures' Choice Awards was envisioned as a massive animatronic production, purportedly comparable to Epcot's American Adventure, that would be centered around a phony awards ceremony honoring horror movie creatures. Elvira and Godzilla would have made guest appearances on the show, which would culminate in a fiery Godzilla burning down the house as he accepts a Lifetime Achievement Award. The show would have been hosted by an animatronic Eddie Franken Murphy, voiced by Eddie Murphy, and other guests would have included Elvira and Godzilla. While Frank Wells is said to have been leery of the Creatures' Choice Awards concept's perspective costs and the durability of its topical connections, Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg are said to have loved the idea. The attraction was subsequently abandoned in favor of creating the thrill coaster that would become the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Number 4, Animal Kingdom's Quest for the Unicorn. Beastly Kingdom, the world of dragons, knights, and mythological animals that was originally intended as a cornerstone of Animal Kingdom, is arguably the most well-known unfinished Walt Disney World land. The roller coaster with a Dragon Tower theme that was planned for the site was supposed to be its main attraction, but the Quest for the Unicorn Hedge Labyrinth might have been more compelling. The maze was intended to be a walk-through attraction called the Quest of the Unicorn, as we have previously revealed. The lengthy maze would have included a number of magical encounters and concluded in a meeting between visitors and a life-size animatronic unicorn that was as real-looking as possible. The attraction was meant to be cutting-edge, despite the description sounding a little dry. Predating the type of interactive attractions that currently dominate theme park design, visitors had to find golden idols hidden around the maze before they could find the unicorn. Additionally, the animatronic unicorn was going to be highly technologically advanced, breathing, moving, and interacting with visitors via infrared rays in the grotto where it would be kept. Quest for the Unicorn was originally intended to be a part of Animal Kingdom's opening day, along with the rest of Beastly Kingdom. But due to financial constraints, the site was transferred to the park's second phase. Despite this, various allusions to the region and its dragons were made throughout the park, and the Camp Mini Mickey area, which was constructed on the ground where Beastly Kingdom was to be located, was designed with the intention of being readily demolished. Sadly, Beastly Kingdom received no official announcement in the years that followed the inauguration of Animal Kingdom. There have been unfounded rumors that the land was scrapped after Disney discovered that many of the fired Imagineers had taken Beastly Kingdom's design to Universal Studios and used it to create a lost continent at the Islands of Adventure theme park. In any case, the area designated for Beastly Kingdom was ultimately used for Pandora, the world of Avatar, likely putting an end to any hopes that the area's attractions would ever be included to Animal Kingdom. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment and ring that bell.